Welcome. Our slideshow chronicles each step in our Little Free Library project. Enjoy! The Kiwanis Club of Richmond members, for over 100 years, have proactively sought opportunities to help children in our Richmond communities. The club consists of a larger regular Monday group and a smaller group of members who meet in the evenings with a focus on fellowship and service opportunities. We call this group our Club Satellite. The Club Satellite's partnership in the Jackson Ward and Carver communities really took hold when a member asked one of our partners what the club could do to furnish books to the children they serve. This one question by one member became the seed that was planted, grew, and flourished into multiple Little Free Libraries placed in strategic areas in these two communities. This one seed planted has cultivated into a living legacy embraced by many who know the importance of getting books into the hands of the children, the adults, and families who might otherwise not have this opportunity. The Kiwanis Club Satellite presented this idea to the board for their review and approval. The first children's library was purchased with the help of our foundation. We soon realized that there was a need to provide adult books as well. In the meantime, one of our long-term dedicated members, Jay Fox, passed away, and the club received donations in his memory. With the board's enthusiastic approval, one more children's library and 2 adult libraries were purchased and dedicated in memory of Jay.
At one Zoom meeting of Club Satellite, as we began to discuss little libraries in earnest, I indulged in my habit of researching online while listening. In a couple of minutes, I reviewed the Little Library website and was able to tell the club about our options for little libraries. We decided on the purchase of the first one. As always, the person who brings it up gets the task. The little library was purchased and shipped to McKinney-Vento as a place for children to find wonderful books that they could take home and keep. Later, when we wanted to increase the number of little libraries, I searched for someone local who made them and found Keith Ramsey of Ramsey Artworks. Ramsey made 3 little libraries, one for adults at McKinney-Vento and one each for children and adults at Carver Elementary.
It was a beautiful August morning when a group of Kiwanians, young and old, gathered at both sites to dig holes and install some little library structures. We had a great time doing it, as you can see. We even had a neighborhood carpenter help us. He noted that we had a couple of the poles that were too long and we didn't have the proper equipment to cut them to size, so he got out his tools from his truck and had us come over with those, and we cut them to size and got them installed. It was a great day, opportunity not only for fellowship, but just a time for us to learn that we had some skills that we'd not used perhaps ever, or certainly not in recent years.
Once the libraries had their homes in front of McKinney-Vento and in front of Carver School, well, we just had to make them our own. We had a really great plan to start, which was very laid out and very well organized. But when the artists and the kids took over, it took on a life of its own. And as you can see, we all had an amazing time decorating all of the little libraries that we do now have in place. Kids from all over and their parents came out, as well as a few of our volunteers, just to make it our own special place that kids can come, enjoy, and really see the imagination that went into putting this all together. One of the decorations that we used on one of them was a branch, a big branch that bloomed and formed books that fell from the ground. Those sorts of ideas really just came out of us all coming together and seeing what a great project this is and will continue to be for our community and how it branches out and reaches so many people.
A highlight of the Little Library projects was stocking the books. Initially, books were purchased with grant money from the Kiwanis Foundation. It was the intent at that point to purchase books that were new and reflections of the neighborhood served by the Little Free Libraries. After that, a fundraising project was started. The first part of this fundraising was to collect gently used books, and that provided over 1,000 books. The second goal was for monetary donations to enable the continued purchase of new and relevant books. This effort raised over $6,000. The Little Libraries will continue to flourish with books for all the children in Richmond.
Each book is stamped before it is stocked in our Little Free Library. The stamp reads, "Always a gift, never for sale. Kiwanis Club of Richmond."
Imagine the joy of the gathered community when we dedicated our libraries at 2 different sites. There were school board members, there were RPS teachers, there were school children, parents and family, a number of us from Kiwanis, and there were even a couple of elected officials from the city council. What a wonderful, wonderful time at both occasions. We were celebrating a true partnership. The culmination of our first phase of creating the idea, installing the little libraries, and getting them going, and the ongoing longer phase, which will go from now on to continue to provide literacy opportunities for adults and children. This is truly a time of blessing and gratitude for all of us within the City of Richmond extended family.
As stewards of our Little Free Libraries, we serve as the key contacts for users and donors. Not only do we keep our Little Free Libraries stocked with good reads, but we keep them clean, organized, and inviting. Our job is to create positive interactions with our community patrons to keep them coming back.
We are lucky to have these wonderful local authors to add to our little libraries. B.K. Fulton, Richmond media mogul, is the author of the Little B.K. book series featured in our Little Free Libraries. Beverly Crosby, former kindergarten art teacher, co-author of the children's book My Dog Is What?, and daughter-in-law of Kiwanian Ralph Crosby, donated new copies of her book and over 250 gently used children's books. Kiwanian and retired botany professor Ted Hoagland is the author of the children's book Grandpa, Why Are You Planting That Tree? He donated several copies of his book. Vanessa Womack, Richmond-based writer and advocate for STEM-based education, generously gave many copies of her books Emerald Jones, the Fashion Designer Diva, and Bookie and Little Ray in the Game.
The Little Free Libraries provide new ways to strengthen established community partnerships with Richmond Public Schools Center for Families in Transition and Carver Elementary School. We have also had the privilege to build new relationships with the Little Free Library patrons in the communities served. Here are their words. It's always a pleasure to bump into some patrons each week when I'm stocking the Little Free Library. It's a great chance to chat, to find out what they like to read, what they are interested in, and they like the opportunity to tell us how much they appreciate the Little Free Library.
We are grateful beyond measure for our many, many donors. Some of them from Kiwanis, some friends of the community. Some gave cash, some gave gently used children's books, some gave both. Truly a commitment from a wide, wide spectrum of our community. And the story continues. I'll just tell one. A young family has now 2 teenage daughters. They were up in the attic with their mother sorting through their children's books. And they said, I am so glad that our books are going to have a new life again.
There are so many people to thank. We would like to give a big thanks to Janet Gowen, who told us we needed to chronicle our Little Free Library project from the beginning. A big thanks to every member of Club Satellite who gave their time to do voiceovers. Thank you to everyone who provided pictures. A big thanks to Kiwanis Club of Richmond for making our Little Free Library project possible. And a big thanks to our partners and patrons, present and future, for their love of books.